What's your favorite thing to add to boring white rice if you're living on a budget? Growing up, my mom would make rice and would add tomato, potatoes, onion, cilantro, bell pepper to the rice. Always felt like a hearty meal just in the rice alone. Top with some lime and you're set. Literally just salt, pepper and butter or soy sauce by itself. Obviously depends on your cupboard items like seasonings and sauces, and price of things in your area, but here's my suggestions. Kimchi, not to everyone's taste I know, but I bloody love it. Many times I've had a bowl of steaming white rice, kimchi, and if I'm feeling fancy, an egg. Sometimes, I make kimchi fried rice, which is nice just fried together with some soy and maybe a fried egg on top, but extra nice if you fry some scallions and garlic in there too. Extra nice if you've got a tiny bit of ground pork, 2 tomato and egg. There's a Chinese dish, very homestyle, which is simple eggs and tomato together. It's not like an omelette. Here's a fab authentic recipe you can try. You can see there's not much to it, but it's very comforting and wonderful with plain rice. Make egg fried rice. Use rice from the day before. First I whisk a few eggs together and fry it in a hot pan. Almost like an omelette, but I break it up as it cooks. I remove it from the pan and set aside when it's nearly cooked through. I wipe the pan, then fry minced garlic and the white part of scallions, then when that's aromatic, I add in the cooked rice. Smashing it up as I go if it's chunky from being in the fridge, but it's probably best to do that beforehand. I mix it all together making sure the rice is getting heated through. This can take longer than you think. Then, I throw the eggs back in and break it up more as I like small egg chunks, then I splosh in soy sauce, do it little by little as you can suddenly ruin it with too much. Then I mix in chopped parts of the green scallion and mix it all through till the soy and egg are even distributed. Then serve. Good thing about this is you can throw in whatever you've got lying about as well, extra veggies, chicken, pork. Bell pepper with tomato. This is a random one I do but I like it. Get a bell pepper and cut it in half, de-seed and decore it. Then run with oil, and mince a garlic clove, put half in each of the pepper halves. Cut a tomato in half, and place that on top of the garlic in each pepper half, almost like the pepper is acting as a little boat for the garlic and tomato. Then drizzle with oil and seasoning and roast in the oven for about an hour. When they come out, they'll be soft and the pepper would have captured all the amazing juice and flavor. When you serve with rice, all the juice gets soaked up. It's almost like deconstructed stuffed bell peppers I suppose, if you're able to get a few Chinese ingredients on your budget: soy, vinegar, cooking wine. You can absolutely make amazing dishes for pennies once you've done that investment. The website linked above has so many pork and vegetable recipes, dirt cheap where I live. It's definitely worth thinking about. Edit. Also like to add random chickpea stew I've made on the fly before with whatever I had in the cupboard. Fry minced garlic and some onion, then when it's fragrant add the chickpeas, drain from a tin of course, and then add some spices you have, maybe a bit of paprika, cumin, cayenne. And let the spices fry off for a few minutes. Then add a tin of chopped tomatoes and some vegetable stock made from a stock cube, and leave to simmer until the chickpeas are soft. Serve with rice. It's alright and you can get a few good portions out of it. Key it always to build up your store cupboard. A jar of spice here, a bottle of oil there. Asian supermarkets usually have amazing value on spices and things, as well as cheaper veggies. Tins of beans are cheap and flavorful. They should last for 2 or 3 servings too. Cook it in chicken broth, not water. Tasty AF. Curry powder, frozen mixed veg, and an onion if you have it. Salted seaweed and a fried egg. My Asians know what's up. Tit, roasted salted seaweed. A cheap tin of chopped tomatoes and some spices. Sometimes if I'm feeling crazy I'll add salt to spice things up. Smiley face. Vinegar. It makes you feel full quicker. If you would like some reviews on food combined with rice, here you are, is a must-read. I always get the spicy red salsa at Chipotle on the side in a cup. Which means the day following I am going to have some really tasty, spicy rice. Believe it or not, that stuff dresses up rice so well. Tears. Soy sauce or a taco spice packet. When I was short on money I'd get some rice and a cheap can of soup and mix them together. Some soups work better than others, obviously, but you pair up the right rice with the right soup, and it's a hell of a tasty and filling meal for a couple bucks. If you can get your hands on some spam and seaweed, bam, you have musab. Welcome to Hawaii, smiley face. I was absolutely fluffing broke in the Philippines. I was born in England and lived in England until the age of 10. Then my parents moved to the Philippines and took me with them. They made a lot of extremely stupid financial choices. Well, my mother and I had to live on basically nothing. My dad ate fairly okay food, but it was definitely better than ours. I will spare you the details as to why, but you can probably add 2 and 2. I learned eventually that a cup of rice plus oil, sesame or something with flavor, usually sunflower, plus soy sauce tasted amazing. Or at least tasted like Chinese food. Keep in mind that that combo is really bad for you. Egg. Spring onions fried in soy sauce, sunflower oil, and chill powder until they are charred. The salty, savory taste mixed with rice is delicious. Beans. Furikake. Okay, Demonche rice tonic. I came up with it while working for a Korean family who owned a Japanese restaurant. While typically frowned upon, they liked to add spices to their own rice water. This became my standard in my tenure there. For 1 cup of uncooked rice, use 1 and roughly 2/3 to 3/4 cups of water. Get the heat on high and add 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, half teaspoon onion powder optional, half teaspoon of curry powder, sesame oil. While that comes to a boil, and with the exception of instant rice, please, by the 9 rinse your rice. Rinse until it's so clean that the water coming through is clear. Now add the rice to the water, stir it once, then cover it, turn the heat to medium-low, and cook for 20 minutes. And don't forget, the rice knows what it's doing in there, and it doesn't need your help, so let it work. Leave the lid on the whole 20 minutes. Period. After 20 minutes, remove from the heat completely. Put it on a cool burner. Stir. Let stand for 4 minutes. Think about resting it, just like you do with a steak. Then it's fluffing done, and it's simple, it's easy, and it's cheap. Sriracha and shredded cheddar cheese. Garlic butter and veggies. The trick to eating rice is to eat it while it's steaming hot. You could eat it with just boiled broccoli when it's hot. That's actually what I did many times when I was lazy to cook as a student. Milk, cinnamon and sugar. Furikake, which is really just different types of rice seasoning, and you can buy some pre-made in a bag and it is pretty cheap. I also think it tastes great with tuna salad, just canned tuna, mayo, sriracha, pickle relish or cucumber. It is not cheap outright, but if you buy a huge jar of umeboshi pickled plum, it lasts forever in the fridge and you only need a little bit to make the flavor really yummy. I cook the rice with chicken bouillon cubes in the water. 1 cube per 1 cup of water. And then my pregnancy cravings tell me to add lemon juice when it's done cooking. Sometimes I add cilantro and jalapenos, but TBH, the lemon juice satisfies the craving enough. If I don't feel like using lemon juice, I eat the rice with brown gravy. It's so delicious. Ponzu and tofu. If you've got a bit of leeway, a sprinkle of scallions and black sesame is great. Lived on just that for about 1.5 months. Half-boiled eggs with some spring onions. Water. Super crunchy otherwise. Tinned bits and pieces, corn, beans, chickpeas, tuna. All cheap stuff with a long shelf life. Depending on your budget, just salt and butter. Works with noodles too. Some canned sardines. Tamago gohan, hot rice in a bowl, put a raw egg in the middle, add some soy sauce and some MSG, or salt if that's not available, stir it up, then you got yourself one of my favorite comfort food in the plain. Indian pickles. You have tomato, ginger, gongora, mango, lemon, etc. pickles that all taste absolutely fantastic with rice. I eat them all the time. Korean red chili paste gochujang. 500 grams for 6 pounds. 15. Add 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon based on taste, to a bowl full of rice and mix. It is absolutely amazing. This is what they serve with basically every meal in South Korea, and ever since I had it, it is a staple in my diet. South Indian perspective: rice with mango pickles, rice plus curd plus pickle, lemon rice, mango rice, tamarind rice, etc. You get powders which you can just mix it. Ham. I just love ham on white rice. Butter, oil, brown sugar, dried crushed red pepper flakes, and of course salt. Mix with your favorite veggies and fry. A can of tuna, some peas can be frozen. Not bad at all. A tin of tuna and some mayo. Still my comfort food, though these days I can afford the gourmet version with diced fresh veggies like red onion, tomato, cucumber and sweet corn. Milk and sugar. Tabasco and shredded chicken. Cinnamon sugar. This makes a fairly delicious dessert that's incredibly simple and cheap.